All right, let's get to Hawks Heat. That was last night because things got a little spicy in the fourth quarter. So Trae Young pulled the Vince Carter, guys. He declared it's over when the Hawks took a 6-point lead with about a minute left to play.
Great
so
pass.
Look at him. Over. The game,
Wow.
However, should we do like the narrator voice?
It was not
narrator. It was not over. The Heat outscored the Hawks 24-4 the rest of the way in an overtime win. After the game, Trae Young tweeted, "Welp," with some emojis there. Jimmy Butler chimed in on Instagram, quote, "This man, Trae Young, is a teller of the future. He was right. Game was over." Scotty, do you think Trae regrets the trash talk here?
Yes, for sure. Especially the way the Miami Heat has been playing of late. I mean, you really can't talk trash till the time is expired on the clock because anything could happen, as we've seen in the NBA.
Number one, on the Heat's court, always be careful saying that a game is over.
Absolutely. Game
and they recall
6.
a certain ring of
Yes.
security guards. They didn't have that last night. Also, the Heat are terrific at home. They're undefeated at home.
Yep.
And they are a kick-butt overtime team this year. They beat Milwaukee in overtime. They beat Toronto in overtime. And then this is a great win. You know, I can understand where Trae Young's coming from. Atlanta's had a rough season. They've played better over the last 7 to 10 days or so. And this would have been a signature win for them to beat the first team. But
You got to actually get
Careful.
to the end of
Careful.
the game to have the win. He's a young player. This kind of stuff, I mean,
I don't want to discourage him from doing stuff like that.
Right.
I
No,
want
I
to
know.
keep seeing it.
It does happen. You
It's fun.
mentioned how good they are in overtime. I have to think that's at least in part due to the conditioning down in Miami. They make such a big deal about their players being in shape. What else do you like about this Heat team this year, Scotty?
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
You know, Jimmy's been on I guess a big tour the last few years. He's played in Chicago, he's played in Minnesota, but you've seen one thing out of Jimmy Butler, and that's he's a competitor. He's going to compete night in and night out. And the thing that I love about Jimmy is he lifts his teammates up. Every guy, every teammate that he's had, even though he's been to 2-3 different teams, they all love him. So he has something.
I wouldn't say they all love him in Minnesota, but they do love him in Philadelphia. You're absolutely
They didn't
right.
like winning in Minnesota. That's why they didn't love him. They wanted individual stats. Jimmy Butler's a winner.
He is a winner. You know, he's so valuable in close games.
Yes.
The Heat have played a lot of close games over the years. A lot of nights they haven't had the talent. They've sort of come together and put themselves together. Now they have a talent edge at the end of games, and you can see already it makes a difference. These close games, these overtime games, he's making a difference. He hasn't done it every game, but just his presence has really helped them. And look at them right now. They're, without question, one of the biggest success stories in the league.
It's so interesting to me when you talk about the teammates, Scotty, because in the places where it hasn't gone well, like Minnesota, there's been the label of he's selfish. And there was some of that in Chicago also. On the court, though, he's one of the least selfish players we have at the star level in the league. His assists are always up. He doesn't have to be the centered piece of any offense that he's in. He's really encouraged a lot of those young players in Miami, and we saw it in Philadelphia too, to be themselves. But then, as you say, when it comes time to close, he is able to step up in those close games and get it done. And that is the thing that, frankly, we see big, talented players in this league still not be able to do. It is so valuable.
He thrives in conflict, both in the locker room and on the court.
Speaking to a closer over here, we have one ourselves. You, Michael, like when you guys you knew that in a close game you guys could get it done. And that's what they have in Jimmy right now.
That's what they do, and you got to give a credit to the whole Miami Heat organization because the way their players play, they play hard. They give themselves a chance to win every game, and they're in those situations. And having a guy like Jimmy Butler there, a guy that's a closer, give them superior confidence, especially down the stretch of games.
We will see a lot of the Heat this week, so more on that. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.